Welcome back to the Professor's Lab. I'm Professor V, and this is round 3, the final round of our league tournament that happened at Die Hard Games on August 29th, 2024. If you didn't know, Die Hard League happens every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, featuring casual and tournament play of whatever format everyone wants. League Challenge Thursday, September 12th at 6 p.m., and our second special Sun and Moon On format, Tournament Thursday, September 19th at 6 p.m. All Central Time, all at Die Hard Games, and check out Pokemon's event locator for premiere and other events at the shop, such as League Challenges, League Cups, pre-releases, and more. Go see more info in this video's description as well. Hit that like button right quick, subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications, say what you need to say in the comments, and all that other good free stuff. But anyways, let's research this game. On the left, Roaring Moon EX. On the right, Charizard. Charizard established their board pretty good with the help of an Ultra Ball and a Buddy Buddy Poffin. The Ultra Ball discards 2 cards, search for a Pokemon. Buddy Buddy Poffin allows you to search your deck for 2 Pokemon with 70 HP or less and put them on your bench. We've got the Rotom V out, Pidgey on the bench, followed by Duskull and Charmander. Bidoof in the active spot. Maybe another Charmander down would be good. But otherwise, yeah, I think you do want another Charmander down, actually. Because the Roaring Moon deck can take a KO on something. Ooh, it's actually Pheasantipity. Okay, comes down. And then Rotom V uses its instant charge ability to draw 3 cards and end the turn. Perfect for turn 1. And play starts over on Roaring Moon's side. Roaring Moon in the active spot. Earthen Vessel up next, discarding a card and searching the deck for 2 Darkness Energy. Our player will take a second to look through their deck as well and see what resources they have available to them. See what stuff wound up in the prize cards. And better plot out their next actions. 2 Darkness Energy plucked out of the deck. They're eyeing up their next play in hand. Professor Sada's Vitality is live, but you'd like to have another energy and ancient Pokemon in play. So Ultra Ball will do just that by discarding 2 Darkness Energy to search the deck for another Roaring Moon EX to put onto the bench. Now we can Professor Sada's, accelerating a Darkness Energy onto both of them and then drawing 3 cards. But we'll have to see what exactly our player has in their hand. I think I saw Sada's and what other things they want to do first. Sequencing. Professor Sada's Vitality is next. Ooh, just accelerating 1 energy to the bench Roaring Moon. Wonder, oh, they maybe did that to leave the out for double Dark Patch to power that one up with the Petulant. But Professor Sada's Vitality ultimately just accelerated 1. Okay. There's the double Dark Patch. Okay. We were on to something there. Dark Patch is an item card that accelerates the Darkness Energy to a bench Darkness Pokemon. Darkness Energy attached to the active, and we're just missing the Petulant for the turn 1 KO. Ouch. Do you still take it even if you have it? I think you do. Get that Bidoof out of there and put pressure on your opponent. But they could not get out of the active spot with something like Petulant's Subjugating Chains ability. So play resumed over on Charizard's side as they instantly slam down the rare candy, evolving that Charmander directly into Charizard EX. When Charizard EX evolves, it can search the deck for up to 3 Fire Energy to attach to Pokemon in play as you'd like. Just 2 Fire Energy needed here, so only 2 will be selected and attached to the Charizard EX, fully powering up its attack. Next is Arvin, in order to search the deck for a item and a tool. Forest Seal Stone, Rare Candy, and make the Pidgeot. Just depends on what's in the player's hand and what exactly they want to do. The Forest Seal Stone can go find the Pidgeot. The Arven, of course, can, or excuse me, the item card can be the rare candy, of course, and that can evolve Pidgey to Pidgeot. But it depends on also what's prized as well. If any of those pieces are prized, then we obviously cannot go for it yet. So our player is going to decide what's the best item and tool cards to be grabbing here with this Arven. It's because he needs to get the Bidoof out of the active spot here, and an energy card could do that. There maybe is already an energy card in hand, since they didn't accelerate it with the Charizard's Infernal Rain ability. They just chose the 2 fire energy to accelerate to Charizard, not one more to put on the Bidoof, let's say, to retreat. This Bidoof does have 1 retreat. Okay, so the first item to be grabbed off of the Arven is the Ultra Ball, and no tool grab. So that telegraphs that the Forest Seal Stone is probably prized. And no other tool to grab, it seems. I think you still grab one if there's one in there. Just in and out of the deck, or be discard fodder if you didn't need it at this time. But Arven finds Ultra Ball. There is rare candy in hand. I guess we're saving it for next turn. It looks like there's 3 cards, 2 cards in hand. As our player tries to decide what's best, attach energy to the active, retreat into the Charizard EX, which is currently doing 180 damage. And yep, let's attack and put on the pressure. As play resumes over on Roaring Moon EX's side. They've got an Iono, they've got Professor Sada's Vitality. I don't think we can play that. I don't think there's Darkness Energy in the discard. So Ultra Ball will be played. Wow, actually discarding a Professor Sada's Vitality and Night Stretcher to search the deck for a Pokemon. We just need the Petulant EX here for this Roaring Moon to attack, so that's good. Petulant has a Subjugating Chains ability, which basically lets you move the Darkness Pokemon from the bench to the active spot, and then that Pokemon's poisoned. Roaring Moon can delete opponent's active Pokemon, so the KO's on board as an Iono is played, having both players shuffle their hands, put them at the bottom of their deck, and then draw prizes from the top of their cards from the top of their deck equal to their remaining prize cards. Both players will get 6 here. Next, the Roaring Moon player plays Nest Ball to search the deck for a Pokemon, and they're going to go for that support, Radiant Greninja. It has the Concealed Cards ability that lets you discard an energy card and then draw 2 cards. Good to get Darkness Energy in the discard pile for Dark Patch and Professor Sada's. And then also consistency with drawing 2 cards. Trekking Shoes is next. That item card has you draw a card, and then you can either keep that card and then the Trekking Shoes is resolved, or you can discard the card and draw 1 more. We don't need the Squawkabilly EX anymore, so definitely draw 1 more card. Next, Pokestop. That stadium has you discard the top 3 cards of your deck, and you may put any item cards discarded this way into your hand. Looks like a couple items were hit. Was it the Pow Pad and Nest Ball or something? And the Baby Roaring Moon is put into the discard pile. It's not the greatest. Next, Roaring Moon EX, the 3rd one's put onto the bench. Nest Ball, that was probably the other item, is played to search the deck for Petulant EX and add it to the bench. Both Petulant Flip the Script abilities are not online yet. The opponent has to take a KO in order to use that ability to draw 3 cards. The opponent would have had to take a KO on their last turn. anything else to do before the attack? The PAL pad to reload a couple supporters from the discard into the deck. I think it was 2 Professor Sada's Vitality. That's all you want to see at this point. That and Boss's Orders as supporters. Radiant Greninja is available if there's any energy wanting to be discarded from hand, but nope. Petron EX, moving that Roaring Moon EX into the active, poisoning it. And Roaring Moon EX uses its Frenzied Gouging attack. The opponent's Pokemon is knocked out, and Roaring Moon does 200 damage to itself. Pidgey moves into the active spot here, and play resumes over on Charizard's side. So the Roaring Moon currently has 210 on it. Okay, so it wouldn't be knocked out going back into its turn. As the Charizard player uses Rare Candy to evolve Pidgey into Pidgeot EX. And Pokestop is next, discarding Fire Energy Arven, finding a Nest Ball to add to the hand. Pidgeot EX's Quick Search ability is available. Charmander hits the bench, and then I think Rotom B used its ability. So did we just not use Quick Search? No, excuse me, not Rotom B. Silly me. Petron EX uses its Flip the Script ability since there was a KO on the opponent's last turn. Flip the Script, draws 3 cards. I see. Now is Quick Search's potential. We need to build another Charizard and attack, right? Ultra Ball discards Pidgey and Nest Ball to search the deck for a Pokemon, basic or evolution. Charizard EX will be found off of this Ultra Ball. And our player's taking a look through their discard pile, seeing what's all in there, so a potential Super Rod is incoming, as they're separating those super shiny Fire Energy. Super Rod will shuffle those 3 back into the deck. And do we make a Charizard here? The Quick Search ability is online, so we could find one of the pieces we need. The player could choose to play a passive role here and evolve the Bibarel with the Ultra Ball here. But it looks like this is a crucial turn as our player is trying to figure out what is the best move to make here. Quick Search seems to be next to find that Rare Candy, one of the pieces needed, and Thornton will actually come through here as a supporter for turn. That supporter has you basically swap a basic Pokemon from your discard pile with the basic Pokemon in play, and it's like it was always that Pokemon. So the Rotom V hits the discard pile, liability is gone, replacing it with a Charmander. Next, Rare Candy is played, evolving that Charmander that was there the whole time into Charizard EX. Charizard EX will accelerate 3 Fire Energy from the deck this time onto itself, 1 onto the baby Charmander next to it. Pidgeot EX has free retreat, so it flies to the bench, and now our player is deciding which Pokemon from the bench to promote into the active spot. Charmander does get the KO here, so I think you go for that. I think you push the Charmander. It does 30 damage for 1 energy, and it does 30 damage to itself, I think, something like that. And the Roaring Moon EX has 210 on it, 230 HP, so yeah, that's what you do. Push the 1 prize Charmander into the active spot. It'll attack, cleaning up the KO on the heavily damaged Roaring Moon EX. Radiant Greninja moves into the active spot on the other side, and play resumes there. Professor Sada's Vitality is the first thing to happen, accelerating a couple energy to each of the Roaring Moon in play, drawing 3 cards. Roaring Moon EX, of course. Then draw 3 cards with that powerful Professor Sada supporter there. The Roaring Moon with all the damage is almost powered up. So a Trekking Shoes will be played next, discarding that Professor Sada's Vitality that's seen with it and picking the next card. So that Baby Roaring Moon would be the prime attacker in this situation, but that's in the discard pile, I believe, off of a Pokestop or something earlier. So the Dark Patch will be played, accelerating energy, fully powering up that Roaring Moon EX on the bench with all the damage on it. Next is Pheasantipity EX to draw 3 cards since there was a KO taken by the opponent on their last turn. Pokemon Catcher is exactly what we need here to flip heads. Let's see if we can keep the fire going. It does with the heads. So that item card now acts like a supporter, boss's orders, to bring up an opponent's Pokemon from the bench into the active spot. You take out something that's worth 2 prizes. Maybe that Charizard would have been better to KO here because the Roaring Moon EX is about to sacrifice itself by taking the KO. The other option would have been to take out the Pheasantipity and leave the Roaring Moon in the active, but maybe you take out the attacker here and force the opponent to have a follow-up one. Either way, the player picks the Pidgeot EX to move into the active spot. That Roaring Moon with 180 damage is thinking about moving into the active here, but our player is going to check their discard pile and better inform that decision, the Pokestop decision here. Discarding the top 3 cards, finding a Pokemon Catcher and Trekking Shoes to add to the hand, discarding a Darkness Energy, not bad. Next is Dark Patch, immediately accelerating that energy to a bench Roaring Moon. Trekking Shoes draws a card, discards the use of Squawk ability to find that boss's orders. Very nice to clean up the game on next turn. Yeah, if the opponent doesn't get it first, though. Yep. Yeah, okay, interesting. What we got going on here. Nest Ball is played next, mostly just to thin out the hand. No target selected here. And our Roaring Moon player is going to take 2 prizes if they do Frenzied Gouging, but so will the opponent, and they could win on their next turn if they've got a Gust card. Maybe I do like this Pidgeot play more. It's still more of the racing style for our racing Roaring Moon deck here. Saying I know you can get a KO or probably build a Charizard or whatever next turn, so let me take out your way to find Gust, your guaranteed way to find Gust, or whatever you need. But I don't know what the right choice is. Let me know what you guys would have done in the comments. Would you have gusted up the Charizard EX in play with the Pokemon Catcher or the Pidgeot EX in play? Either way, great gameplay we're seeing today as that Roaring Moon moves into the active spot thanks to Petron EX subjugating chains. It's poisoned. And then Frenzied Gouging doing 200 to itself, knocking itself out to bring the Pidgeot EX down with it. 2 prize cards taken by that Roaring Moon player who has to push up the Radiant Greninja, right? Yes, of course. The 1 prizer Pokemon and force the opponent to have Gust to take 2 prize cards. The Duskull floats into the active spot and play resumes over on its side. We need way to retreat and boss's orders for our Charizard player to win. Charizard's attack, of course, is increased. Oh, there's the Prime Catcher, so that's game. Charizard EX attack is 180 base, and it does 30 more damage for each prize card the opponent has taken. So it's doing way more than 230 right now, enough to KO anything on the opponent's side of the board. With the Prime Catcher, that's guaranteed. That ace spec. Yep, of course, 2 prize cards needed to be taken by the Charizard player. I even missed that too. Glad they caught it. And this makes their decision a lot quicker and easier. The Prime Catcher acts like a Guzma, that ace spec item. It lets you bring up opponent's Pokemon from the bench into the active, and then you do the same. Two Prizer brought to the active spot. Charizard EX flies to the active, and Burning Darkness for the KO and the game. Let's see, top 4 for this tournament. Usually I have this ready for you guys, but I don't this time, so let's see if I could find it quickly. Here we go. Top 4, first place was our Charizard player here. Second place was, I think, a Dragapult player. Excuse me. Third place was our Roaring Moon player here, and fourth place was actually our Blissey / Chansey player we saw featured in another round. Congrats to our League Challenge champ, and thank you all for playing some Pokemon. What'd you think of this video and the commentary? Please leave feedback in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Professor's Lab.